Barebones Outpost Rush. Everybody's 725. There are no gear perks, and it is a different game. Honestly, I feel like it feels a lot like New World early game PvP felt. And for some people, they really like this. I mean, I've been looking at how people have kind of perceived the Barebones Outpost Rush, and most people are actually a really big fan of it. And there are some really big pluses that come with a game mode like this, especially if you're newer to PvP. Let's say you don't have a build that you put together or spent a lot of money putting together. You're on a level playing field with everybody else here. So I think that this is a really good addition for the game. Really, I feel like this is something that maybe should have been in the game a long time ago, because it really gets rid of one of those big barriers of entry for PvP, which is getting that build put together. Now, here's the but. I personally love playing in the regular PvP mode a little bit more. And the reason for it is that in the regular PvP mode, you can put builds together. And I love buildcraft. I love trying out different setups, things that have fun or unique kind of ways that they play. And you know, in Barebones Outpost Rush, it's really cool because you can easily switch between different weapon setups, but the builds are pretty much all the same. You don't have the same kind of variety that you do in the regular Outpost Rush game mode. So I might be in the minority saying that. I think I am in the minority saying that, but it's not like this is a bad PvP game mode at all. It's just a little bit different. It's very much reminiscent of that early game PvP. So let's talk about some of the big differences I noticed. Number one, range damage is hella toned down in this version of Outpost Rush, and a big culprit to that is all of the rune glass gems that exist in the regular game mode, and you don't have access to those rune glass gems here. So of course, fire staff, the various different musket, blunderbuss, all these weapons are taking a big damage hit because of this. Now, it's not like they're not viable or anything. I would actually say Fire Staff is still a very good weapon in this game mode. Probably the best ranged weapon for this game mode. But if you are someone who hates getting gunned down by all the ranged players, I think that this is a much more enjoyable experience in that regard. And I feel like that's why a lot of players have had such a positive reception to this, because range damage can get a little out of control. Now, something that I didn't like about this game mode is that we don't have Hardy. And I'm not saying that, you know, we need to have one perk that's allowed or anything like that. I just feel like, especially with light armor, Hardy is kind of a mandatory perk. If you don't have Hardy on your ring, you're not able to do 2 rolls in a row. And the big strength of light armor, at least defensively, is that you can break that distance with the double roll. Well, in this game mode, light armor gets punished super hard if you try to get away from an opponent. If you do the double roll, you end up gassing your stamina, and if you do a single roll, you often aren't breaking enough distance to actually get away, especially if your opponent manages to land a hit with a melee weapon, and then you have that kind of snare attached to you for that moment. So I actually found myself struggling quite a lot trying to take any 1vx fight in light armor, and then I switched to medium, and it was like night and day. Medium was so much better. I mean, like, so much better than the light armor felt to play. So it was definitely a bit of a change for me, at least. And the second thing that I really noticed is, and I'm sure you guys see it in the gameplay, the lack of haste. Everybody is not sitting at haste cap during PvP. So this means that PvP kind of felt a little bit slower than it did previously. And the one area that I really noticed this having a big impact was with tracking. And again, you know, if someone got on top of you with their melee weapon, it was very hard to get away because you didn't have access to a lot of haste, and you didn't have access to 2 rolls in a row. Something else I really noticed is that you have a lot less healing. There's no shirking heals, there are no perks to buff your potion healing and stuff like that. Apparently, Healthy Toast was working, so you could get healing from there, and Featherweight was also working, so there's definitely some bugs with the game mode where things were activated that maybe shouldn't have been activated, but at least when it came to healing, the presence of a healer made a massive, massive difference. Oh, and in the gameplay there, it kind of looked like my shirking energy actually procced and went off. Very interesting. But anyway, the healing made a massive difference. If you had a healer with you, you were so much more durable than somebody who didn't have a healer with them. So if you guys like healing and you want to try it out and see how it feels to play a healer, this is a fantastic game mode to show up with a life staff in. Your team will absolutely love you for it. And finally, let's talk about weapons. Weapon balance is very similar to what we see in the regular Outpost Rush mode, but I gotta say, the culprits of being a little bit on the overpowered side kind of got a little out of control, at least when it came to Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield felt so strong in this game mode. It was by far the scariest weapon for me to fight. It felt stronger than it does in regular OPR. But then we have stuff like Void Gauntlet, which is very perk dependent, and that particular weapon did not feel strong in Barebones Outpost Rush. So I think that people are having a lot of fun because it is a big mix-up from the meta that people might be used to or commonly see in Outpost Rush. And I think that that's great. I think it is nice to have that kind of look at the game and take a look at game balance when you take all those perks away. It's some valuable information as well. And there you go. Those are my thoughts on Barebones Outpost Rush. There is a lot that has changed, a lot that's still kind of the same. But at the end of the day, it does feel like a very different PvP game than New World feels today. As always, I would love to hear what you guys think and how you did or didn't enjoy this game mode. And your thoughts on especially weapon balance coming out of Barebones Outpost Rush. I think stuff like Sword and Shield really started to feel out of control, so don't be shy to let me know how you guys felt about the weapon balance in here. And this is normally the part of the video where I would show you guys a quick look at the build that I was running, but outside of the skill trees, there is no difference in my light armor Firestaff Rapier or medium Firestaff Rapier than anybody else who was playing this setup in Outpost Rush. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. A few spicy kills at the end, and have a great night, everybody. I'll see you next time.